always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go.
Welcome to the Be All Inclusive podcast. Today we are doing a pop-up podcast with a special guest, Jermaine with Marival. Thank you for joining us today and for hosting us. We are so excited to be at Marival. Why don't we share a little bit of our thoughts so far of staying at the resort?
Yeah. So, all right. This is my first time at Vallarta. We have not sold Vallarta. We've sold Vallarta for a long time, but I've not actually personally come. I'm amazed. Like, the whole experience, I don't even know how to put it in words, but this place is so different than any other destination I've been to. So, I am loving it. Jermaine, I know, how long have you been at Marival? Like, tell us the story of Marival. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Marival, introduce Marival as a brand, because I know our viewers are not really familiar with the Marival brand. It's not a household name, if you will.
But. Absolutely. So I'm Jermaine Humphrey, Director of Sales for Marival Resorts and Spa, based in Puerto Vallarta. We're a family-owned organization. We've been around for 35 years. Fun fact about us, we actually opened up the first truly all-inclusive resort in destination Mexico in the entire country, right? But a little bit about us, we have 3 properties. You guys are staying with us over the next couple of nights here at our adults-only option, which is Marival Armony, located in Punta Mita in the destination itself. So it's about 50 minutes north of the airport, located inside of the Sierra Madre Mountains. So something unique about us as a selling point is we're one of 2 properties in the area that has a swimmable and walkable beach directly in front of our resort. But we also consider ourselves the only true adult-only option in the Punta Mita area. And we're also the closest all-inclusive resort to the small tourist town of Sayulita as well.
God, you say it's swimmable. I was out there this morning, and it's definitely swimmable. I loved it. Beautiful beach, but I lost my sunglasses because those waves are pretty killer.
Well, let's tell the audience how you lost your sunglasses. You jumped directly into the wave. So that's typically how you lose things, JB.
But no, but the beach, like, there's something about the cliff.
Yes.
And then the beach, and it's just, I don't know, it's got the West Coast vibe. Vallarta seems like it's full of history.
Yes.
And romance, and it's just like, it's not just a beach town.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was like in Europe.
Well, I always sell Vallarta as a destination of my top 5 reasons. And some of those top reasons is, number 1 is the biggest, no seaweed or sargassum all year round. So I'm going to repeat that for the people that maybe skip over. All right? We did no seaweed or sargassum all year round. So that is a significant advantage over Cancun, Riviera Maya, but also some of the Caribbean islands. Number 2, we consider ourselves the Maui of Mexico. We're on the same latitude as Hawaii, so we have very similar climates. The island itself is very lush, very tropical, but also during the months of November through March, you have whale watching season where you can also basically get it as a complimentary excursion directly from your resort. All right, because that's where the whales come down to migrate and have those start their new families before heading back north during the summer months.
How does the rainy season compare to, other destinations? Are we looking at the same, hurricane season in general, June through November? Is there a rainy season? Is there a worse time to come here?
No, really. We have a small period of hurricane, which is usually early May to early June, but honestly, it's maybe about a 10% chance of hurricanes hitting here because we're nestled within the bay, right? Versus some of the other destinations where they're a little bit more out in the open. So it's a little bit harder because we're protected by the mountains here in Destination PVR. Now, one of the things you will find here at Destination PVR is it's very humid. And so typically during the months of that second week of May, through that first or second week of November, that's usually where you'll see seasonable humidity, where it's not necessarily a rain season, but it rains very often during the nighttime.
Okay.
Right? Where it's not going to interrupt any of your day-to-day activities throughout the day. But during the night, that's where it does rain, and it will cause that humidity throughout the day.
Okay, so after that, we get a little break.
Correct.
Then in the humidity, so you said kind of first week in November or so.
Correct.
So that in the rate season, as we're used to saying, okay, Christmas week, the most expensive time of year, and then it goes until mid-April or so, end of April sometimes, and then mid-season until August to September, and then low season from September on. Do you find it's the same?
I do.
Path here? Okay, perfect.
I do.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So
based on cost and seasonality, based on temperature and the humidity and this and the other, when's the best time you feel like we should be traveling here or have us to do so?
Well, it depends on what you want to get out of your vacation, right? So I find that during the winter months, right, which is usually peak time for the United States clients, especially if you're in a cold climate, Midwest, or even the Northeast with the snow, you may see a significant price point, but it comes with additional advantages of the whale watching, right? Another big highlight for Destination PVR, almost 90% of the hotels here in the destination, our pools are heated all year round. I know for 100% sure, Marival, all 3 of our properties, our pools are heated all year round. So you don't run that risk of flying all the way into destination, running away from the cold, and you can't even get into the swimming pool because the pool is not heated. All right. So again, if you want the best bang for your buck, you're typically going to find that early May through early June, because in the months of June, second week of June through the middle of August, it is a very popular destination for the local market. Right. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. So the break in between would be May through that second week of June. For the best price.
And you briefly mentioned whale watching. So the whale watching is best. Like you can almost get a free whale watching experience here after November through what month did you say?
So it's November, the second week of November through the third week of March. And it's almost, you can't never guarantee anything in life, but I would give it a high rate of 95% or higher. I'll give you a fun fact. When I started with Marival back in January, I had the luxury of bringing my wife with me. While I was doing 3 days worth of meetings, my wife seen a total of 9 whales breach directly in front of her from our infinity pool here at Armony.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So since Marival is kind of a little under the radar, what would you want couples to know if they wanted to plan a destination wedding here? Like, what is something unique to this resort that you think they would really love?
Oh, that's a very great question, Julia. So I would say I would go back to who we are as an organization, right? The fact that we are family owned, right? So we're owned by the Rizzuto family. And with that being said, 3 of our current CFO or senior leadership had the opportunity to get married at one of our properties, right? I'm sure they got a heavily discount, but they get married. But I think some of the things specifically, if I'm speaking to just Armony, I would say the family-owned business gives us the advantage to be flexible with special requests.
Yeah.
One of the big ones would be, hey, being that Armony is an adult-only property, if we have a destination wedding or a couple that's looking to get married and for their friends and family to stay at an adult-only property but include children, we would make an exception to allow children to participate in all of the wedding activity here at Armony. If they're staying at one of our sister properties, which our other 2 resorts are family-friendly, it would be complimentary and no additional charge. But if they want to stay a little bit closer to Armony, then we would offer a discounted day pass for that child to participate in all of the wedding activities. So that would be number 1. Number 2 here at Armony is when we originally opened in 2019, we did open as a family resort before converting to adults only in 2022. So that gives us an advantage in the adult-only all-inclusive market because right now 30% of our inventory offers double beds. So oftentimes, for destination weddings, hey, you may have 2 sisters sharing a room or 2 cousins of the same sex sharing a room. And at most adults-only options, you typically find 90% of the inventory is king-size beds. So I would say those 2 things, being flexible because of the family-owned business, you don't have that corporate layer that you have to peel back, and the fact that we offer the inventory, with double beds, I would say those would probably be our two big key selling points that would separate us from the competition in the market.
I love that kids are allowed to come over here and they're allowed to stay for the reception and everything, like the entire wedding.
Absolutely. So we'll allow up to 4 hours pre-wedding event, and we'll allow 1 hour after the last event concludes.
I was going to partly answer the question as well, because I think for me, as first time experience in Vallarta, first time experience in Marival Armony, I think we have so many clients that want that small island feel.
Mm-hmm.
They want the mountains, they want the ocean, they want that that small, the Saints, Eastern Caribbean type of feel to the resorts. But you have more trouble there with airlift. There's less airlift to those destinations. It's more expensive airlift. And then you also have a lot fewer resort options in those destinations as well. So you have more airlift here. The airport was great coming in. And you have, it's the beauty of the mountains and the water and the cliffs. It feels like I'm on a small island in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So I like it.
And PVR is a hidden gem within the destination of Mexico. I mean, when you're just speaking of the airport itself, right? As you guys all experienced when you arrived yesterday, probably took you guys less than 15, 20 minutes to get through customs and immigrations, which you typically don't find in Mexico, especially when you're going to Cancun and into the big airports of Cancun, right? You're looking at an average of an hour plus, right? So again, you can breeze right through. It's very easy to navigate. But the destination itself, you have the opportunity to immerse yourself in culture. So much history here, right? But if you want that vibrant component as well, there are an array of opportunities that will offer the best of both worlds here at Destination PVR.
Well, more on that because we're doing a city tour in a couple days. And we'll be able to tell you
Absolutely.
about all of the culture, which we don't know about yet. But driving through it looked amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you guys always for the support and the partnership, and we look forward to hosting some of your future wedding couples in the very near future.
We can't wait to go back and tell everybody about Marival Armony and Emotions. Distinct Luxury Residences, is that the proper name?
It's Marival Distinct.
Distinct.
Yes.
But it's not, was it Distinct Residences?
It used to be called Marival Resident.
There we go.
But we changed it because we distinctly offer product that separates ourselves. So with Distinct, that is our 5-star, 4-diamond AAA luxury family property where we offer 169 units that are set up as luxury private residence. Inside each unit, it has a fully equipped kitchen, living room, dining room, washer and dryer, and full multiple baths. Oh, and did I fail to mention, this property is all-inclusive as well.
Is Distinct, it's right next door to Emotion.
There's one property that separates. There's one property that separates us, but we do guest staying at Distinct. We'll have full access to go to Emotions, where we do offer complimentary shuttle service every 15 minutes that rotates between the two properties.
Now, what do you think between those two properties? Why are guests going in between? What's the draw about one about the other one?
Well, I'll use my family example, all right?
It only goes one way.
Correct.
It goes Distinct to Emotions, not Emotions to Distinct.
Correct. So I'll use my family as example. I have 2 daughters. One's 21 and the other one's 14. They're like Tom and Jerry. Most of the time they hate each other, but very often they get along. But the youngest is like the Tasmanian devil. So Distinct would work well because my family is a seasoned traveler. They want that mature, they want that luxury feel, right? They're spoiled rotten, right? Just from Papa being in the industry for so long, right? But my youngest daughter, she's very active, right? And I think for Emotions, you're going to find a ton of activities that's geared towards the kids, right? Especially that teen and tween. We have a fabulous teens club. There's a small splash park there. So ideally, if you have families with that active child, I would say utilize the benefit of the exchange privileges, take the kids over throughout the day, burn some of that energy off, but then when you're ready to come back and settle down for dinner, come back over to Distinct to have that more elevated service and experience.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, thank you so much, everybody else. Thank you for tuning in to a pop-up podcast. Join us next time for the next destination discussion. We're going to be doing a lot more of these coming up.
It's always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high.